Let's do it. Round two. Hello, everybody. Welcome to your journey, your mini tarot series journey. My name is Katerina.
My name is Sabina.
This is basically a little mini tarot series where we talk about all the major arcanas, our experience with them, what they mean, how you can use them in your everyday life, or how you're going to use them with clients if you decide to, or family or friends, or in all that jazz. So,
That jazz.
this is our second attempt.
This is take number two.
Take number two.
Because we did the star already and it was no voice.
No sound.
No sound.
Although we check it every time, but this time we decided not to.
And it didn't work. It's all good. Doesn't matter.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Probably needed more information, but we decided to do a little twist. As you can see on our title down here, we're not only going to be talking about the star today, we're going to be talking about the moon and the sun and how they all intertwine together.
Yes.
Anything else you want to add to that?
No.
Sabrina.
We wanted to bring in the celestial bodies, which is like the star. To me, bringing in the sun and the moon next to the star is I'm working on a little bit. I'm going deeper into my astrology, and I realize the star is you. You're the star. So you're at the birth chart. You're at the center point. You're the one with the highest potential, right? You're the one who is interacting with people. You're the star. So I love the fact that the star we're talking about, and then the sun, which I just told her, which I found I know a lot of people know this, right? But the sun is representative of the father figure in your life, and the moon is the mother. So it's the Holy Trinity, the mother, the father, the child.
I love how excited she gets. When she deep dives.
Yeah, because
master at it.
Anyways, the star card, we'll try to follow the same layout that we did before. We'll talk about the star
each individually.
Yeah, 100%. And we'll say how the star the star is the literal meaning of, like, we have no script in front of us, so we're just unscripted as we do.
Usually unfiltered. It's us in our natural habitat, in our natural state.
Yeah.
This is how we are. This is how we are. This is how we
with each other. We
talk. The whole point is to have everything flow. And usually we do have pointers, but this time we decided, you know what, let's just
go with it.
Kick it old school.
Yeah. And the star is a 17 card, which eventually one day when we'll do numerology, we'll do a little series of numbers.
That could be fun.
The 17 is like a really big number for the star seeds. It's going to show up in your life. And now that I've told you, it will show up more and more in your life. But 1 + 7 is 8. And 8 is the strength card of the tarot, but it's also the courage card. It's the bravery card. And 8 is 2024. If you're watching this now, this is the year that we need to be brave. And we are the star seeds who have to be brave through this. And the ruling planet is, I'm going to let you talk. The ruling planet is Uranus for the star card because it's Aquarius. And to me, it all ties together. I feel like the star card is, I'm showing a ring with the star if you're listening. It's all about us moving into our highest potential. Make it like it's a hopes and dreams coming true card, right? It's like finally we're there. We are shining the light on us for now until we shine the light on humanity. But first we need to kind of do the breakthroughs on our side, like within our little oneness group. I like that actually. Anyways, and there's like the 7 stars of Pleiades here, which is a lot of the OG star seeds on this earth are Palladian and Syrian and Lyran. And Pleiades is all actually a lot of Native American tribes is Palladian. They're Palladians or origin.
Interesting.
Yeah. So anyways, I mean, these are just stories. It could be real.
So the myths, the stories,
whatever.
They all have some truth in it, right? They're all coming from and stemming from somewhere. And all of these information are all very similar if you think about it in terms of the storyline all over the world. So they all have very, very distinct similarities where it's like, is that just coincidence?
Mm.
I don't think so. But
yeah,
the interesting part of the
star.
the 7 Pleiadian stars that are there, they're technically representing of a tribe, like this tribe coming together. So as she said, actually loved when you said that, because it's true. You first have to shine your light, so it gives permission to others to shine their light. Because right now we're at a time where everything is in a box. You have to be in a box if you want to be part of this community, part of this tribe, part of this society, part of this environment. And we're coming to a place where the box is too small. It's too small to contain this light of yours. It's too small to contain this genius that just wants to completely emerge, wants to express itself through you, right? We've been talking about this and in all of our other podcasts and the original podcasts and season 1, season 2, and now season even 3. So we're talking about
destroying, we're destruction.
We're breaking through the box,
yeah.
And it's uncomfortable. And the star card is beautiful representation of, because we just went through the number 8. We went through the having courage to break free, and then we encountered the devil, and then we encountered like all our limiting beliefs and societal's limiting beliefs, and then we encountered a tower moment where it's like the breaking of foundations, the breaking of all the rotten pieces that no longer serve us, to then enter the hope card, the star card, this incredible just
remembrance card.
Yeah, it's you remembering where you're truly coming from, and that's, yes, you're in this human reality, but the reality is you're more than that. You are God sent. Like you are a miracle, and that's what the star card represents. You are the miracle that this world didn't even know it needed until you showed up.
Exactly, and it's time to shine your light. Yeah. And a lot of us have, which we'll get into the next card, a lot of us have hidden our light, and not only in this lifetime and in multiple lifetimes, because, and I say this a lot in the Akashic records. We'll go into Akashic records, and like a side note is that a lot of people will, was I Marie Antoinette, or was I king this? And I'm like, no, man, most of you were peasants. You were like hiding your light. Most of us were hiding because we would get killed and tortured, and then if you would like shining the light too much, right? So a lot of us showed up as like hiding in the with the rats and everything. So I mean, some of us obviously like we choose our lifetimes, but it's indicative. I feel like the star card is who we are. It's who we are right now, not who we are becoming. Who we are. It's like being. It's the beingness of us, and it's time to step into that. And in this star card, she has 1 foot in water, which is like the last time when we had no voice. So I realized that she's stepping on water, but her foot is not going through the pond. So it's almost like that Jesus Christ showing up here.
Christ consciousness.
You're right, but Jesus Christ walked on water, right? So showing that he wasn't just the miracle baby. You're the miracle babies. Like we're all the miracle babies, that we can walk on water, and it's just a metaphor for the greatness that you are. And 1 foot is on the ground, grounded, so it's like in emotional, grounded, air, mental. So it's a trinity again happening in this star card. And you're all of it. You're the mother, you're the father, you're the child. You're the body, you're the mind, you're the soul. You're the earth, the water, the fire, the air, everything, the ether. It's like that beautiful walking into this. This is like an interesting time that right now, when we are talking about this video, we're moving towards a very volatile time of the matrix, where it's just in full collapse mode, and the star is like there and ready to emerge, like she said, and ready to shine our light through it all. And the 7 sisters, which are the 7 Pleiadians, they're called the 7 sisters, are supporting you in the cosmos and the galactics, on the ground, as we see here, in the water, like in the mountains in the background, like every angle of this planet and above, you are being supported. And it's also a health card, so it kind of like all ties in. Our
What do you
our
mean?
take number 2 is better than take number 1.
What do you mean health card?
It's a health card too, the star. If you see it, it's also like you're healthy. If you see that in a reading.
The star card in any reading,
Mhm.
generally speaking, unless you have maybe the devil next to it, it might represent something else.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Depends.
But even then, the star card usually represents hope, and usually represents. It's almost like the sun card to me. It's moving forward with more excitement,
Yeah,
with more joy, with more ease. It's almost like the star card gives you permission in any reading to just have fun with it. Just don't overthink things. Like, set out. You have a dream. If you whatever wish, because it's also like a wish upon a star. It's like follow your North Star, right? It's follow your North Star. So your dreams, your hopes, your desires, that's your North Star. And it's just like keep going no matter what happens, even if things keep crumbling. Like we were just talking about that today. Like these last couple of days for me has just been just one step forward, 10 step back. One step forward, 10 step back. And it's just like keep following the North Star. You know exactly what's burning inside you, what wants to shine, how you want to shine it. Just keep it going, even if you get challenges along the way, even if like roll with the punches, basically. And just I almost feel like just have fun with it. Have fun with the punches. Like look how at ease she's naked on the card.
Vulnerable.
She's vulnerable, but she's okay with being vulnerable. It's like she's okay with sharing what other people think is weakness, which is not, because we were talking about that. Weakness is your strength. Weakness is your strength. And actually, I was looking at the first episodes, and that's exactly what we were talking about in terms of spirituality, because that's what it is. Spirituality is total vulnerability, it's ultimate freedom. It's the ultimate freedom, and ultimate freedom means that you're okay with being vulnerable. You're okay with showing every single part of yourself, which goes back to authenticity when we're talking about.
Yeah.
The only way to actually shine is to be authentic. And the only way to be authentic is to be vulnerable. Allow yourself to be okay with everything, no matter what other people think.
And that's like it's beautiful. And it's tied to the planet of Uranus. Uranus is such it's a like a breakdown, it's a breakthrough, rebellious planet. It's like, I don't give a flying F if you're in my way. I don't care what sign is here. I'm here to ruffle the feathers. I'm here to push you and encourage you and motivate you to shine your freaking light, your ideas, your creativity. I'm a visionary. Let's I'm here to shake you up. Uranus, when it's in your sign or wherever it is in your chart, you're like, yo, like, yeah. And I love it about it. Because Aquarius is kind of like that. If you know Aquarians in your life, they're one noted. They're like, this is what I want to do, and they just do it, and they don't really pay attention to everyone else what they're saying, right? They're just like, this is what I need to do, and this is what I need to say. But at the same note, the star in reverse can be very Uranus in reverse, or the star in reverse can be very vindictive. Can be very like anarchists, very
not always sort of
stuck in their ideas so much that they can bury a hole, right?
Bury themselves in a hole.
Yeah, bury themselves in a hole, and everyone else around them in a hole as well. It can be very draining. Like a star,
egotistical. Yes, you mean like those ego-based.
Yeah. Like you're a social reformist, as a like upright, but then it's self-indulgent almost. It's almost like, this is what I gotta say. This is me, and it's like, it's not about that. If you're here to socially reform, then it's the we, not the I or the me, right?
So almost like, let's social reform everything, so only I have the power type of.
Right. Which is counterintuitive to the whole star card.
Yeah, it's true.
We came in as one whole, not as one. So it's kind of interesting, actually. We came in as a one whole, but maybe it's a bit too much of the one, right? But it's okay, because everybody falls, we always talk about this. We're very honest and open about it. We falter every 5 minutes sometimes in a daytime. You could be like, and then And it's all in the star is like, it's the awareness of the light around you that you are, and in your light you will trigger and you will shine and you will leave an impact on people as you go, and you don't even realize it. Sometimes you walk into cafes or into libraries or bookstores, or I don't know why I'm saying these things, but like restaurants, and you might even, your light will aid somebody that you have no idea, a stranger, and then them will go home and then they'll like, oh my God, I have an enlightening idea. And it's because of you, the star seed. And you don't even know the power that you have.
Or you just being you,
Yeah.
right? Even if you don't consider, I'm not a star seed, it has
Oh,
nothing to
yeah.
do with you, or
Whatever.
if you're a star seed or not. You, by being you, by being authentically you, you're shining a light.
Yeah.
And giving other people permission to shine that light, to be themselves, just by being. It could be as simple as you going into a coffee shop and humming, and it just like inspires somebody else to hum, and then that person inspires somebody else to hum, and then that person inspires, and then all of a sudden somebody gets this aha moment of a new song that they need to write. You know what I mean? Like it's
we all are impactful.
You don't have to say anything. That's the thing, is you just going in and being like, today I'm gonna love myself even through the challenges. Like that's kind of how I felt today. Today was one thing after another. I'm like, it's okay. I'm going to love me, even if I don't feel constructive today, even if I don't feel like I was productive today. I'm going to still love I love me even when I'm not productive. And I'm going to go into a coffee shop, which what I did today. I ended up meeting this beautiful angel, this just radiant girl that has just such a huge dream. And I was just able to just not necessarily guide her, but just say the right things that she needed to hear at that very moment. Just because I accepted everything that happened to me without fighting it, without resisting it. Just that doesn't mean that I wasn't angry a little bit inside, but I was aware of my anger and I didn't let it destroy stuff that didn't need to be destroyed, right? Because that's like what I believe like the reversed star could be. It's like you want to burn everything to the ground because things are not going your way, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that almost like reminds me of the Leo.
Which is the opposite of Aquarius.
And then
complete opposite of Aquarius.
And Leo is someone who shines, but if they get too much in their ego, they just want everything to burn at the ground. They want to burn everything to the ground because it's not going my way.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to go this way. And they're very fixed in that kind of sense. So I feel like that's what it is. Like you have this huge light that wants to burn, but you're so attached. If you get too attached to an outcome, well, then you just want to burn everything to the ground. Which is basically that's the whole theme of this month, I feel.
Anyway. This month we just started, so September 3rd. But yeah,
last month. Sorry,
whatever.
Last month. It's already September, man.
Oh my God! Yeah,
it's only September. Let's reframe those words. But yes, so overall, that's what the star card.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, star is it's
great
just
for relationships.
Yeah, like it's also like, I think I brought that up in the last time. It's like a little bit of the now more than ever is you stepping into your inner standing of who you are as the star, and that all these celebrities and stars outside of us are just like you and me, but not really. But it's just a narrative that you stop putting so much of your energy and your time in other people. Like it's social media. It's like that, putting all your focus and energy on, oh my God, look. And then you get, it's so funny, you go into the comments and then people are defending stars, Hollywood. Well, that's not what she would have done. And I'm like, oh my God, people, you've forgotten a little bit of you in all of this. You're the star here. And you're giving your energy away to others.
Yeah. It's a distraction.
I know it is, but it's part of this whole thing.
Yeah. Distracting from your own inner light.
Which is what you are.
Which is so powerful, because if everybody recognized how powerful they are in their uniqueness, and that's the thing, you're unique. You have a unique expression. You're
a unique blueprint.
You have the whole universe trying to express itself uniquely through you, that could only be expressed through your uniqueness. And that uniqueness is important for the development, for the growth, for the evolution of everything else on this planet. for it to get to the level that we have all conspired to come here to get to. That's what I believe. And here we are distracting ourselves by admiring other people's life. If you're admiring somebody else's light, it's because that's within you and you still haven't believed it or still haven't seen it for yourself. So in some ways, they are helping, technically speaking, in some ways, because it's making you aware that you're distracted.
Yes, maybe.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Everything
has.
See it in, you can see it in white and black and gray, and you decide. You decide how you're going to see it.
Yeah, it's not to but it's almost fun. It's so interesting. It's at the back of the card. She's at this pond in this grass. At the back of the card is a mountain, right? Mountain is to climb up to your greatness. And to me, it's like, are you ready? Are you ready to go and to climb to the greatness that you are?
Yes, you are.
Whether you're a star seed or whatever you consider yourself, it doesn't matter. As the human that you are, that you're having this human experience.
Even if you don't think you're ready, you're ready. Jump.
And so when you think you're not ready is when you are at the moon card.
Leap. Oh, yeah. Well, then, because it goes into the moon card, right?
Yeah.
The star card. So then when you're ready to leap, to have that leap of faith, that's when usually all your fears come up to the surface. And this is where the moon card comes in. This is the next step. So it's like you're ready, but then you have to clear out all
the emotional gunk
of this emotional, mental, maybe even physical gunk that you've distracted from, that you've avoided, that you've denied, but now it's getting illuminated by the sun, which we'll see after, because it's just a reflection. The moon is just a reflection of the sun. And the moon is representative of things that are hidden, because usually it's dark. Usually you don't see it if the sun hasn't reflected. So, yeah.
You know what? I was looking at the moon card, and there's a little crab at the bottom of it.
Mm-hmm.
I always wonder why
lobster.
The moon. It's a lobster?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go. It debunked what I was going to say, because I was like, why is there a crab and it's not Cancer, and why is it Pisces? But even though,
because I always thought it was
seafood is not like a fish.
I always thought it was a Cancer until I realized it wasn't a Cancer.
Yeah. No. Anyway.
And I thought too it had something to do with that crab, but no, I thought it was water. Moon, water. It's represented by water, but no, it's actually it's represented by which one again?
Pisces.
Oh, there you go. Well, it makes sense too, because Pisces and the moon is more mystical. It's more like in between realms.
Yeah.
In between the worlds. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
With Pisces. But anyway.
So the moon is all about, the interesting thing. When the moon comes up, it's interesting for me as a tarot reader. I don't necessarily see it as these spiritual gifts that it brings. Mostly I see it, what's wrong?
I love that you put ginger in here. I love it. It's so good. Ginger and water and lemon.
But cold water, I didn't put hot. That's why. Usually it's hot. The moon. This is what happens, people. If you're listening on a podcast, it's distracted. It's me and Katerina.
You're having an awesome
working off
tea time conversations with us. This is what it is. Okay.
The moon. Okay, yeah. So when I see the moon, I don't go towards spiritual enlightenment and insight, which it could very well embody. To me, I feel really the connection of the mother and the divine feminine and the emotions that are laced with this. The hidden part of it, I see it as secretive. I could see it as a whole bunch of that, then more than I see it as a spiritually intuitive. I see more the high priestess, which is a Cancer card, as more as that. No, I don't know. What do you like when a lot of tarot readers will look at the moon and say, "Oh, you're spiritually insightful." They talk about the spirituality of it, and I don't necessarily see it as that.
You see it as what exactly?
I see it as like deep emotions, like really diving deep into our psyche, like really going and excavating. And
it's the uncovering.
Right.
Yeah. To me, I see it as the uncovering card for sure. It's the card of, there's stuff that you failed to or avoided to look, so you can transmute, so you can overcome, so you can let go of. And it could be, I do see it as an intuitive card. It can be something like, it can be because it's the moon, it's water, intuition, it's Pisces, especially now that you say it's Pisces, it's like, 100%. but it's also, for me, it's always been an uncovering card. Like, okay, there's something that is being uncovered and you need to look at it and you have no choice.
And there's like the polarity of these two dogs, right?
Mm-hmm.
The yellow dog, and then usually we see black and white. And then the portal. The portal's over here with the water. I just feel like it's, anyways, the moon has been such a trigger for me. Not a trigger. It's not a trigger. I don't think I'm triggered anymore by the moon, but the moon has become, I don't see it as a real object in the sky anymore. So that's a little challenging for me when I start to think of all these new moons and full moons, and I'm like, well, it's not really real. But the moon in the tarot as a symbolism feels to me, and it's interesting that I would say that, because what does that mean, Sabina? Because that's it. It embodies the divine feminine energy. What are you trying to say?
What are you trying to say, Sabrina?
Are you trying to say the divine feminine, or maybe?
Are you trying to say that you've been avoiding?
Has the divine feminine been faking it for a long time, and it's now time to shine, and they've been hiding?
Well,
perhaps.
Ooh. I think that makes a lot of sense, considering all the conversations we've had.
Yeah,
especially in regards to you and you embracing your feminine energy.
Maybe.
But also, we've had this talk many times, which makes so much sense now that you're bringing this up. This whole notion that men and women, feminine energy, men, masculine energy, need to step it up. But I feel like, especially the feminine, we've kind of lost our way into a direction that is not helpful.
Counterintuitive.
Very counterintuitive, which is creating a huge debalancement right now. It's creating a huge, what were you going to say? Imbalance. We're creating a huge imbalancement. And for me, it's sad because we have such a gift and we're not using this gift to actually bring this world back together. It's like we were together and then we broke up. Like we broke this world. We're all each going our own ways. But it's like, why don't we just come back and
work with the sun?
Work with each other. It's like, what do we have to prove? What do we have to prove? There's nothing to prove. And I feel like, especially the feminine energy, we have something to prove. And I was there in that narrative.
All of us were there
for so long. And I was just like, no, I mean, considering my childhood and considering my very wounded masculine father wounds and all, and even mother, but father too, is just like, it made sense. It makes sense to me now, but we were duped. I feel like women have been
feeling
duped.
Lesser than. We were never lesser than, no. But everyone knows that, and you watched my video. But it's like
the fact that we had to feel it, that we had to
but we had to do it then. We had to go through it as an experience, I guess.
The journey.
And it's to me.
Hence our podcast.
Hence the podcast, to come to a place where you're like, wow. You know, it's like, and it's not about me being a divine feminine either, because I'm both.
Yeah, exactly. How do you know you're off your center if you're not off your center? Right? If you don't go off your center, you don't know.
Yeah.
The whole point is to come back to center.
And the moon is,
the moon is that. It's coming back to your center. It's coming back to that intuitive feel like, oh, something's off, something's imbalanced, something's not in harmony. And it's to face it. Like to me,
to feel it.
It's part of the facing.
That's what it is.
That's what facing it is feeling it, is being with it. And I feel like that's what the moon card is for me. It's like something's off of your balance. It's like you've declared something. You have the star card, you've declared something. This is my dream. But to get to your dream, you need to remove the gunk. Meaning, like, if you want to be absolutely free, if you want ultimate freedom, well, you need to face the part of yourselves that is afraid of being free. And that could look like you being attached to an idea of a person, an idea of a situation, an idea of what freedom is, until you lose it. And you're like, oh, can I still feel free even if I don't have these people, places, and things? And if I do, how will I feel if I don't have those things? How can I still feel free? What would I still do if I was free, even if I didn't have that $1 million or that house by the woods
or that relationship
or that relationship?
Because the moon brings up relationships too for me. Sometimes brings up this feeling of um, uh, unable to be anything more because I am not loved enough, or I am not feeling enough. What? By another. And it's like the moon stands there alone in the sky. She doesn't need anybody else. Right? Same way like the sun doesn't need anybody else. They work together, but they work very well on their own.
Individually, still independent, although they're still working
like
together.
The star.
Because
that's the same thing.
Reflected off the sun.
Yeah, of course they work together.
Then, yeah.
But it's just sort of very interesting to me. The moon, I put it in reverse now. It's like the shadow side of us, right?
The avoidance. I see as avoidance.
It really is.
When the moon card is reversed, it's
like,
it can mean one of two things. It's like one thing is really being uncovered and you can't avoid it anymore, and you've been avoiding it, or two, it's like you're still avoiding it. So depending on what other cards are around or how.
But it's like talking really shitty to yourself too.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's like really being hard on yourself. I'm not enough. I'm not shiny enough. I'm not this enough.
So instead of facing it, you're just feeding it. Basically. So upright, it's like you're facing it and you're looking at all the narratives and you're just like, oh, okay, this is how I feel. That's okay. Or you're questioning yourself, like, why is this so important to me? So you can get sometimes to the knot of it. So you can actually feel that knot out. But reverse is like, you're just feeding into it. And you're like, yeah, I am dumb. I am stupid. I am this. That person is this. And just reflecting and just pointing fingers so you don't have to feel whatever anguish is inside you, whatever suffering is inside you. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah. I like that.
Because the moon card is the I feel card. So when you're in reverse, then you're not feeling, or you're over feeling, which could be that overactive, like we talk about in the chakras. It's that I'm overly emotional, I'm overly thinking, I'm overly feeling like shit, right? And that happens to a lot of us, whether you were women or men, right? It's just a human way of dealing or shutting down, right? There's that underactive, shut down, hide, I don't want to deal with it. And the next day you wake up, you're like, oh, I feel great. But it's still there. Like you still congested it deeper, a little bit deeper into your vessel though, this time. And from someone who understands, all of us, we all understand this. We all did that.
We're like, goes to like the fight, flight, or freeze, the nervous system, right? Everything is, if you actually look at everything, the chakra system is connected to the nervous system. These cards are also connected technically to the nervous system because this represents emotions, and emotions is language of the body, and which is translated through your nervous system, basically. So yeah, sometimes we even pick up from other people's emotions and we don't even realize it, and then we think it's our own.
That's a big one.
Which could go very well with also the moon card, where it's like you're picking up everybody else. And this is something that I did for a very long time, especially when I was younger. I didn't even realize I would get so angry. And I realized that it's because my mother was angry, and I just picked that up and I had to like act upon it because I didn't know what else to do with this emotion. And at that age, you don't really know what's going on. So this is, it's like you're picking up so much and you don't know what to do with all that excess.
And you compartmentalize it.
Yeah.
And then it shows up like 10 years later and you're like, what is going on? And then your mother says something and then you're like, and then you're like, what's going on? Why are you acting like this? And said, well, it's because it's been there for 10 years, but I have no idea, but it's coming out because I need to shine. I need to release.
So releasing, So it's like these outbursts of anguish, of rage, of sadness, of all these things that have been built up. And that's why sometimes when you see the moon card, sometimes it's just a time to like go out in the woods in a cabin alone for a couple of days just to feel everything out, or go to a spa, or just find a way to like be with yourself so you can. Because
the moon card, since I brought it up for the star, its planet is Neptune. And Neptune is all about that. It's very spiritual. It's very, very intuitive, and it's visionary. But in the reverse, the Neptune is not. When its lesser known aspect, its lower aspect of Neptune is delusional and could be violent and a lot of rage because there's so much emotion that's pent up inside you, that some of us release it onto others and onto ourselves. It's could be very deep, the moon in reverse. Because the moon in reverse is also, if we look at the moon, it's also the weather, right? The moon, the tides of the moon, the waters. So if it's in like the tides are like good, or the tides, there's a tsunami coming, right? That's a flood of emotions coming out. Like we always say, we're all mirrors of each other. Well, these cards are mirrors of each other, of us, ourselves too, right? If you're like holding shit inside you, 25 years of emotions are inside you, well, and it's coming out, then I guarantee you somewhere in the world there will be a flood, because it's mirroring you. So imagine how many people we are in the world.
And you're probably connected to all those other people.
Exactly.
That are actually holding it all.
Because we're all connected at one. As one, we come in as groups.
So collectively, this is coming out.
So when I see so many of these weather events, I'm always like, oh, this is what's happening in the world. Or when I hear about volcanoes, I go, oh, that's a lot of anger coming out from whoever the hell it is. So it's kind of interesting, collectively. Yeah. So yeah. And it's not a coincidence. I'm going to go into something else now, but it's not a coincidence that you are placed in that location that you're placed. So perhaps the people who live near volcanoes, they have a lot of anger, probably, or rage that needs to come out, and it has to be translated in their volcano that's next to them.
Generational rage too. It hasn't been completely transmuted as well,
and it's okay.
Something, yeah.
We're all feeling the feels.
And like when it comes up if it shows up for relationships, or if it shows up for health, it's usually like, okay, there's something hidden. There's something there that needs to be
secrets.
Yeah, it could be secrets, or it could just be people are not being honest with themselves and therefore with others, because you can't be honest with others if you're not honest with yourself. You can't. It's just like, forget about it. If you're not honest with yourself within the relationship, like if there's something that's bothering you and you're keeping it to yourself, well, you're not being honest with the other person, even if you don't want to hurt their feelings. Like, to me, that's doing them a disfavor, your relationship a disfavor, your whole family a disfavor. You can say it in a nice, kind, and compassionate way. There's always ways of saying things, right? Instead of just blaming. But, there's nonviolent communication by Marshall. The great book. I don't know if you heard it.
I was like, martial arts?
Marshall.
There's a way to tell
I want to say
people.
Marshall Matters, but I'm like, no, that's Eminem. But I love that you snorted.
I know.
That's awesome.
Well.
But it's called nonviolent communication. He has workshops. I mean, he no longer is with us. God, rest his soul. But he has done such an incredible ripple for the whole world in terms of the way he has brought this new way of talking and communicating. And anyway, it's been practiced all over the world, and it's just beautiful. But yeah, there's always the ways of saying things, especially when you talk to yourself. This isn't how you talk to yourself, right? Everything is a reflection. Do you talk to yourself with kindness? Even if let's say you made a mistake, do you talk to yourself with kindness, or do you talk to yourself in a very cruel way? And I almost feel like this is what the moon card is about. Like it's uncovering your inner dialogue. It's uncovering how you truly treat yourself, and to course correct it. If it's not kind, if it's not with compassion, if it's not with assertiveness, if it's not with boundaries, course correct it. Like, this is giving you the opportunity of uncovering it all when this card shows up. And even when the moon card comes, it's like the moon, you see it like with the full moon. I know you don't feel like it really is there, but for me, I still feel like it's such I work in a restaurant too, part-time and the times that I've worked at the restaurant, it's crazy how you see it. It's night and day when the full moon comes up. But anyways, that's just a side note. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about now the sun. So after everything we've uncovered, everything we've just faced, faced, embraced, loved, like unconditionally loved those parts of ourselves. Once we've truly just faced it and went through it, as we've been talking about, you have the sun that shows up.
And we move into another masculine energy. Isn't that funny? The star is the sorry. I'm walking away. That's what I found. Oh.
Yeah, Siri decided to join us. I don't know why.
Okay. Low battery. It's a very Katarina thing. So, all right. So the sun is divine masculine. It's a Leo energy. It's the sun. That's the planet. Which the moon is also its own. It's not a planet. The sun, by the way. Sorry. It's whatever it is. What is it?
I don't know. I don't know how to say that. Consonant? No.
Constellation? I guess. No, I have no idea. This is
it's a piece of Earth of its own.
It's a life force energy. Actually, the sun in the sky. It's part of. It's the most important.
It's a logos
planet, whatever that is, not planet, in the sky, because it's shining its light on us. It's the solar activity. It's it is, for me, the sun right now is amplifying and helping us, and there's a word I'm looking for, but I can't find it. It's like changing up our circuitry board. It's upgrading us. The sun is responsible for this. And so, yes, am I in love with the sun? I am. I love it on my skin. I love it when it darkens me. I love everything about it. But the sun is about like shining. It's this little boy
shining
on this white horse, this kind of purity. It's like we come out of our mamas. It's the moon, and then the sun is like, I'm here to shine again.
Come out of the mama's void.
Yeah.
To get into the light, to this 3D reality. But have you ever heard of the Law of One?
The Law of One? I mean, I've heard of it, but
the story goes that basically when God wanted to know itself, it created the solar systems. Well, not solar systems, sorry. It created the galaxies.
Okay.
For the galaxy to know itself, it created the sun. To the sun know itself, it created all the other planets. And for the planets to know themselves, they created their internal system. Earth created the humans, they created the animals. So each planet, for them to know themselves, has created what needed to be created.
I like that.
Which I found beautiful. So it just goes to show how it's the essence. It's the ultimate essence. The sun is our father, technically. And you have so many ancient tribes that considered the sun as a god. And if you've ever heard of the Law of One, it's this channeled information of 3 meditators that ended up channeling what they presume and what they were told was Ra. So one of the sun gods that was basically in the Egyptian times. And
Atlantis.
You have everything for free. If ever you want to go, you have all of their transcribed sessions and also all of the recordings.
It's not part of the Kabbalion?
It could be part of the Kabbalion. I never read the Kabbalion, but all I know is that these 3 meditators, they claim is in their channeling, and you can hear it, all of the recorded session. I think they have over 100 recorded sessions. They're all free on the website, thelawofone.ca or .info, and they have all the transcribed all the transcribed sessions as well. And he specifically said, I'm going to come to you every single time as long as you get this information for free, as long as people have information for free. You can buy it. There's places to buy it as well. However, you have everything for free. So I found that really, 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 really interesting. And you can listen to it and that's part of what
it's interesting.
He talks about.
And because the sun is the I am.
What do you mean?
It's the identity. It's your identity. It's who you are in this
astrology?
In this earth. Yes. It's the physical identity of who you are. The Sabrina, right? Which is the divine masculine, which is the physical aspect, always divine masculine. The feminine is not, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of beautiful, the sun. The sun, when you see it in a tarot, we're totally off. We're only talking about our tarot readings. The sun in the tarot readings is like victory, it's opportunity, it's positivity, it's optimism. We can see this big sun shining here. There's growth,
It's the ultimate positive.
It's the ultimately like
whatever happened.
There's nothing.
It's gonna shine through.
Even when it's in the negative, it's not that negative because the sun's still shining at the bottom. When you turn it around, the sun is still here,
still there,
like
it's still giving you,
still radiating and illuminating, and it's probably even illuminating a lot more when it's in reverse. It's illuminating the shadow side of you, right? And it's like saying, okay, it's okay. Love yourself anyways. That's the kind of feeling I get from that. It's like a new beginning with the
even
child.
If the world's upside down.
Even the world's upside down, which it is right now.
Positivity. You can still. It almost goes to that quote where pessimism is easy. What it takes real courage to stay positive. It actually takes courage to stay positive. Pessimism is like almost the easy way out. It's the easy way to be like, oh,
fuck it.
Fuck it. This world sucks. I suck. Everybody sucks. But it takes real courage to really be there. You're like, you know what? I'm going to turn it into fertilizer. I'm going to turn all this crapola and create something beautiful with it. That's real.
Like, but you have to be careful not to be like a delusioned optimist.
What do you mean?
Which is a big thing that when you get on this journey, it's like, oh, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to say, I am happy and I am love and I am sunny and I'm shiny. And you're like dying inside. That's like those are spells. Like you say, I am, are spells, which they are, but you got to be careful because if you're really feeling shitty inside and you're saying, I am the best and I am rich and I am happy, your soul is like, yo, you're a liar. So I'm going to bring you 1,000 lessons because it's about feeling positive and optimistic, but also being real about it. Because if you want to be authentically you, then you got to be like, you know what? I'm feeling like shit right now, but I am going to try to be super happy today. And I'm going to smile and I'm going to like change things around. That's the way I see things. Because I used to do these silly affirmations like, oh, I am this and I am that. And then I'm like, I would be hitting walls all the time after these affirmations. And it was like, and then I was like, when I would go into my deep talks, they would be like, yo, you're not really that. So don't lie to yourself.
But again, it's not to avoid anything. You don't avoid anything. I almost say be delusional if you believe in your delusion. Be delusional. If you believe in something, because the belief system is what's going to make it or break it, right? However, to get to that delusion, if you really want that delusion to really shine through, you have to be honest with yourself, and you can't avoid the parts of yourself that doesn't feel, or who is avoiding to feel sadness, avoiding to feel anger, avoiding to feel all these things. Like, it depends on what you mean by delusion. Like, I do believe that everything that we've created so far had to start with an idea that a lot of people thought was delusional. A lot of it.
No.
However, well, I mean, if you look at a lot of the buildings, some people thought that it was never going to happen. You had to come with an idea.
But it did happen. And the guy who did it believed in it.
Yeah, exactly.
That it would happen.
But even when people around him told him like, oh, it's not going to work.
Yeah, no, but those are them. That's not him. He wasn't delusional. He wasn't like, I'm going to do it anyways, even though in the little part of me doesn't believe it's going to be created. He's like, he believed it.
Yeah, but he had to face all of those little inner voices. The inner voices were still there. He had to face
why do you think that there was inner voices?
Because this is exactly where the star comes into play, and then the moon card comes into play, and then the sun. It's like this. Once you hit and you decide something, let's say you believe in something, you're still gonna get these people, like you're saying, to face and be real with yourself. All of those emotions are going to come up as long as you're real with it, as long as you're facing them,
but you're not
as long as you're going through it. I mean, again, it depends on what your definition of delusion is. To me, delusion could be something incredibly powerful if you really truly believe in it, because I've seen people been called all kinds of names and now they're on top of the world because they believe their delusion, what other people thought it was delusion. But they have to face their shit too. You cannot get and reach something without having all your internal dialogues, like you were saying, and not facing them.
But it's not your, anyways. Okay. I think we're like, It's like it's their delusion. They're deluded. But it's not me. I don't believe it. I believe that it could work. And yes, there'll be doubts within me, but they think I'm delusional. But that's their problem and not mine.
Yeah, but that's why we're gonna believe that we're delusional too, until we believe like, no, this is what I like. This is
I get it, that, but it's not by being proud of being delusional. Like I don't want to be delusional in the sense like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be happy and I'm gonna be. But even if I'm not feeling happy, like it's like you're deluding your body, you're deluding yourself, because at one point you're gonna have to face it. You're gonna have to face you can't just like. There's people that go around, I'm love and I'm light and I'm happy and I'm positive and I'm, oh yeah. But in their real life, they're like shitty and they're down in the dumps and they're hating on then they take abuse and they are abusive. And it's like, yo man, you can't, that's delusional. Like you think that, no.
Okay. So that's your definition of delusional. Okay. Yeah. In that sense, yeah, 100%. I agree. Face your shit.
Face your shit.
Face your shit. Like
just fucking face it. But it's okay.
This journey is not about just light. It's about facing and being okay and loving those parts of yourself that feel inadequate, that feel like they're not at the place that they want to be. Can you still love those parts of yourself? Like that's to me what unconditional love is. This is where
totally
I'm heading. Like I don't care what anybody else says in terms of love. Like, can you love yourself even when you feel like you don't deserve it? Can you still love yourself in those moments? Because I'm guaranteed if you love every single part of yourself, you cannot hurt other people.
Yeah.
You can't. You will not be able to hurt other people if you truly love every single part of yourself.
Yeah. Anyways, again, the sun.
We kind of tangented, but it comes back to this radical positivity, which
it's great, but
it comes back to that. It comes back to it takes courage to be radically positive. But going back to the delusional part, just like tying those two together, be radically positive even in your discomfort. Like be okay with being uncomfortable.
But be okay also with like acknowledging that you're not feeling great today and you want to feel amazing. Right now, like
being honest with what the things that you're gonna do about it, right? Instead of just wallowing and making excuses. It's one thing sitting. It's one thing sitting in the I feel like crap. I feel like crap. I feel like crap. I feel like crap. And it's because of this. It's because of that person. It's because of this. And creating that storyline and that loop, and just being like, you know what? I feel like crap. I'm just gonna sit with this, and I'm gonna be okay.
And I'm gonna love it.
And I'm gonna love it.
And that's where the radical positivity, the sun is like, I'm going to love that fucking feeling of crap. I'm going to love when I'm feeling guilty and grieving. I'm sad. I'm going to love it. The sun is like, yeah, shine it on, bitches. But I'm also going to embody this positivity in that sense. I'm going to start to see the positive of this, right? There's always a positive to a negative. There's always a positive to like, there's like the shadow brings up the light. It brings out the light. So the light is stuck in that darkness and it just needs to be free. And the sun does that. It melts away that pain.
And allowing it to come to you, that realization, instead of looking for it all the time. It's beautiful because I finished watching the Gene Key 64 and it's about confusion. And confusion needs time. That's basically the takeaway of all that. You need time in confusion. It's not a question of, you need patience. When you act in confusion or act in pain, act in suffering, you'll only get more confusion, you only get more pain, you only get more suffering. It needs time. It needs time for that information to come to you. Love those parts of yourself that are feeling uncomfortable, that with all those things are coming up to the surface. Like she said, the sun, the light is coming up, but it needs to shine through all of this darkness, the suffering, the pain, and just love those parts of yourself that need that shining light to come through and allow the answers to come to you. So if you don't feel like actually taking action and just needs to feel, like she says, feel everything, feel it. Eventually, you're going to be annoyed of just feeling it and you're going to take action.
Totally.
And you're going to go to the gym or you're going to go take some sun and and you're going to do it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So if you don't, sometimes we're able to motivate ourselves to go at least outside, get that sunlight,
vitamin C,
which will alter
vitamin D,
which change our our whole physiology. And sometimes you just need to be okay with feeling it out and loving those parts that need to be felt out. And this is where Sabrina is saying, it's like, don't delude yourself in thinking that you're not supposed to feel the pain either. You're supposed to feel the pain. It's part of this journey. It's the polarity. It's one in one.
You have to shine the light on the pain as much as you have to shine the light on the joy.
Exactly.
And just be it.
Yeah. We're not supposed to be in radical joy all the time and radical love and radical. No, we're here to feel all the spectrums. And by not doing that, you're denying yourself life. You're denying yourself
the human experience.
The human experience, which is life.
Yeah. Because if you wanted to be in the stars, you would be completely love all the time. But that's why we have the miracle of this life, is to live in the polarity of hate, anger, sadness, grief, manipulation, all of it. You know, it's that we're like aware of it. But for us, as we on this journey, as we realize, is the awareness becomes the key, and it's the shining of the light on top of this fear. I'm like, oh my God, I see it now. I experience fear in this situation right now. I'm feeling fear. Oh my God. But like this week, this morning, I woke up in a really not so great place, but I sat up on my bed and I was like, I'm not in pain, but I'm not feeling great. Like I'm not, and I was just in it. It's not nice to be in it, but I was aware of it. And then after, I met her and she put me back in a great mood. So like, go to the people that can bring you the sunshine. Go to the people that, can maybe bring you the moon too, if you need to feel. Yeah. Go to the people who can brighten your day like the star. Like, use the tarot cards as your references. Go to the people who make you feel like the devil one day. You want to go out, let's go drinking one day. I'm going to go get my devil friend. I'm going to go, like, have fun with your life. And this is what we're trying to show here with our tarot cards. Like, we're doing our experiences with it, but also there's a whole story involved with the tarot cards.
Mm-hmm. And it's, don't go over there. Like, don't go and, we're not encouraging anybody to hurt anybody.
No. What, did I say that?
No.
Okay.
Like, oh, let's go have a drink here and be the devil. That's like, you're not here to hurt anybody, but you are here to play in the different spectrums so you can know yourself. This whole journey is for you to know yourself even more through your hopes and desires, through the uncovering of the fears that you might have to achieve these hopes and desires, and then to find the radical positivity in it all, no matter what, and shining that light on you, even when you're feeling whatever confusion you're feeling, or feeling inadequate, or if you're feeling
not enough,
uncomfortable, because these feelings are just making us feel uncomfortable. And this whole journey is to feel the spectrums, right? We're here to embrace this coquetteness in the feminine language, or to feel more masculine. Like, you're here to feel all the spectrums and whatever role you're playing at this very moment, because it gives you an idea of who you are. It gives you an idea of who you could become, or where you're going, or what kind of person you want to be. And that's the whole part of this journey. It's just you discovering who you are.
Yeah. And the sun is actually shining the light on you. Like, you start with the star card, like she just said a really beautiful like segue here, but you start with the star card and you're the center of you are born. You are the center of everything. And then you look outside and all these planets all around you, and all these houses are around you, and all these relationships are around you. So there's a whole bunch of spectrum happening here. And the moon is like your mother. Your mother gives birth to you and you're like, wow, thank you, Mom, for bringing me into this earth. I am the star now. And then your father, even if some of you don't have father, it could be a father figure, shows up and says, hey, this is what I'm going to do for you. Like, I'm going to shine the light on your greatest potential, my darling child, because I am the worker of the house, or I am whatever I am, right? I am the strong one. Let's go do this. And the mother's like, yes, the care, it's all the archetypes here showing up.
And if you don't have these archetypes, Refer
You
to
can
the
find
sun.
them. Yeah.
The sun could be your father because he is the greatest representation. Look how much life and support he's giving to all the plants, to the water, to everything to help it grow. And he's shining light on you to help you grow. And trust me, the amounts of times that I talk to the sun and I just feel its feedback.
Yeah, totally.
Time, like I talk to it, especially after I did my ancestral class, I just like deepened that connection. I always had a deep connection with the sun. And it was just every time I would sit and talk to it, sometimes I'd be driving and the sun is shining. I'm like, hey, sun, what's up with you today? How you doing today? How can I help you today? And the answer I always get is just like, shine. Like, take my light.
Shine your light, babies.
And you can have conversations with these things. These
Yeah.
are living things. Again, how many times we have to say, your body is alive. You can talk to your body.
The plants.
Everything, plants,
crystal,
even the wall, like the walls.
Everything.
Have a vibration. Everything has a vibration. Everything has a frequency. Everything.
I just want to add a little note here in the tarot kind of way. If you get a sun card, it could also be travel and adventures and going to the sun, you know, saying adventures of life kind of thing. So in case you could then, and then if you see it in reverse, it means that maybe it's not a great time for travel or it's not time to start a journey. Anyways, that was funny. So that's a little like a footnote here.
Yeah.
So this is our celestial trio
that we decided to throw
bring
in there
together
because
the next card is the Judgment, and then it's the World, and we'll be done with the tarot mini series.
Yeah, it's true. It's gonna be our last 3. Usually we do it on Saturday, but today we're doing it on Wednesday.
Yeah,
and we just did our live for the third eye chakra with activations and pendulum and Reiki and pendulum activations. So be sure to watch that. And follow us on the Welcome to Your Journey. We've been putting all of them more in an organized format for you over there, so you can check it out on YouTube.
And also, a little side note about the chakra activations. I feel like the activations are, when I say them out loud, they're actually doing the work. I'm doing the work at night. So that's why I'm getting all these symptoms.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
I really feel like it's so. Pay attention. Watch the whole videos and do the activation. She does an amazing meditation first, and then we go into So
Ricky light.
We're going to be doing. We're coming together with. She's still talking. We're coming together, and we have discussed a new
series
synopsis. Oh, there's a word I'm looking for, but I can't find it. Anyways, we're bringing together different kinds of themes for the next few seasons coming up. Yes, because we'll be done with the crown chakra on September 11th, and then after that we have to start a new series,
a little more interactive. And we have a couple of really, really fun ideas for all the viewers that have been with us since the beginning, have been supporting us and writing us, especially joining us on our lives. So we have a couple of things there too that we'd like to just bring up. And I guess just a couple of takeaways that we can do. I would like to know, where do you have the most trouble? Is it facing your truth? Is it shining your light or recognizing your life as something worthy and unique? Or is it just being positive, staying positive? That's what I'd like to know from you guys. Yeah. What is the hardest for you? Is it the sun archetype, the moon archetype, or the star archetype? Where is it? Do you feel more resistance?
Oh, you want where they feel more resistance?
Like, where is it the more resistance? Is it being authentic, shining your authenticity? Is it facing the stuff that you need to face? That's where you have the most resistance. Or is it staying positive and remaining positive no matter what? Or is it all 3? Or is it none of the above? Do you not have any trouble at all? Just facing and doing and staying positive, right? Where do you have the most trouble, or where do you have the most ease?
And which of the 3 of these do you resonate the most with? Do you feel like this calls you more? Like,
yes, I like that.
Would be interesting too.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's it. That's what you get.
That's what you get.
Episode 17. Sun, moon, and the star, the celestial beings. And I hope you enjoy this.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll see each other soon. Yeah.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.